Peg, you want to get that? It's probably the homeless on their It Could Be Worse tour. Let's rock.
Thanks, Dad.
Can I get a whooping?
Whoa,
No Man presents, live from the nudie bar, the Married with Children podcast. And here are your hosts, Jerry, Justin, and Al.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Married with Children podcast, live in the nudie bar. This is Al. I am joined by the guy who was once a mighty oak and now just a hanging vine, Jerry. What's up, Jerry?
For the record, vines take over everything. Instead of being one single entity for everyone to see, I wanted my fingers in everything. And so now it's vines.
Gee, why did I introduce this guy?
You're the one making the mistakes here. I don't know.
Well, luckily I'm also joined by the guy who is wondering why Bruce Willis is a star, Justin. What's up, man?
You know, I mean, Die Hard is good, but what else does he have?
Sixth Sense?
That's good because of Shyamalan.
I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah, that movie got dated really quick.
You know what's funny? I never even seen that movie, so I can't say
Die
much.
Hard?
No, of course I've seen Die Hard. Seriously, dude?
You're from a horror god podcast. I expect you to have seen The Sixth Sense.
Die Hard is my favorite action movie.
Okay, well, I thought Terminator 2 was your favorite action movie.
Okay, that is, but I look at that.
Look.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
I watch your YouTube videos on Laserdisc.
That was cool, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was dope.
Jerry likes to be right lately. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Jerry be right. Instead of Johnny be gone, Jerry be right.
Well, speaking of odd titles, how about Impo-Dent? It's impotent. That's a play on the word Impo-Dent, like a dent in a car, like a fire hydrant-shaped dent. When Marcy accidentally dents Steve's brand new Mercedes, she finds it affects more than just his performance on the road. So, this episode first aired February 28th, 1988. This is an historic episode for a couple reasons. One of them, they toyed with the idea of bringing in the Tang joke, I believe season 1, but as we all know, at that point, the show was just getting warmed up. Nobody knew who these people were. So I guess they couldn't get it or couldn't afford it or something, and they had Tri-C instead. So this, I believe, is the first episode, right, where they pulled out an actual Tang jar.
I think so.
I think so, too.
This episode is just cruel right from the beginning when it comes to this family. I mean, these kids are just rummaging through the cabinets looking for something to eat. That's the thing with the Bundys. They don't eat. The mouse ate better than Al before it died. Bud finds, a Tang bottle that's, like, empty, I guess, just, like, bare remnants of it. And, him and Kelly fight over it, and they both just down the powder. They don't even turn it into the drink. They're just, they just want to taste something. I don't even know what that was. Or maybe they just had to down it real quick because Al was there. They didn't get a chance to, set it up how they wanted. They just wanted to make sure they consumed it. So, they go ahead and down the Tang dry. And then Al says, he realizes they try to, one-up him. And he one-ups them, pulls out a piece of bread that came out of a jar. Like, is that like the hidden food in the house or something?
I gotta sit here and the opening's really funny, but I'm like, Bud, you're terrible at hiding things. Whether it's the Tang looking like the chest burster coming out of your shirt, the previous episode where he didn't hide his flashlight and mask very well.
Right.
Like, he's just really bad at this. And then when it comes to the opening food joke, I have to wonder, is this joke maybe a little too far that they absolutely have nothing to where they're literally tang residue is their friend?
Another great morning. Didn't sleep at all last night with Steve's stupid car alarm going off. Of course, then that wakes up your mother, and I got to talk to her. You almost lost your daddy last night, kids. What are you hiding?
Nothing?
Finished off the tang on me again, huh? Well, your dad still has a few tricks left in his tired old body. Tang wipe.
They're having a tang wipe? Like,
Now, do you mean that in like the context of, would anybody actually like eat this stuff, or do you mean like they would have some food because they're not that poor?
yeah, like I think it's going a little too far on the Peggy doesn't like shop jokes. Like, cause literally she doesn't even have like her chocolate bonbons for her to eat in the house. There's nothing. Like, I was just like, it's funny. I like the setup. I like the jokes. But a part of me was like, maybe that's a little too far. But we did get tang wipe out of it, so it's almost like, well, it's okay.
Tang wipe.
Wait, is this the tang witch part? Do we have to eat that yet or no?
We can. Well, here's what we could do. Let's progress with the show. How about we eat tang wipe on the season 2 wrap-up show?
Okay. So, do y'all know where to get tang? Because I have found tang. Legit, 100% tang.
I mean, I assume it's at Walmart. Is it not?
I've only seen it at Sam's Club.
Yeah. Now, yeah, this food thing, I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if you're really serious when you say they're maybe taking it too far, as in to the point where you're not enjoying this, because I love this. Like, the fact that they're finding a cornflake between the refrigerator and the sink is amazing to me. What's even worse is the way they're eating and squabbling over a cornflake that's stuck between the refrigerator and the sink, and Peg walks in rubbing her belly because she just knocked back a slam dunk breakfast at Kippy's.
Is that supposed to be like Denny's?
Yeah, pretty much. You just jogged my memory. I believe they actually do go to Denny's. I think it's weird. I think as the show got bigger,
They were able to clear more stuff.
yeah, I feel like I've heard Denny's. I don't know why. I feel like I've heard that on this show, but
Peg, you want to get that? It's probably the homeless on there. It could be worse to her.
that's one of the greatest lines in the world.
Yeah, that had me rolling.
Hi. I just stopped by to apologize if Steve's car alarm kept you up last night. He's out of town, and it's his first night away from his new Mercedes, so he set his alarm on ultra-sensitive. The slightest touch, and it goes off all night.
Does it have a brother?
I realized today how much I love Steve, because in my notes when she goes, oh, Steve is away, I immediately wrote in my notes, wait, Steve is away, screw this episode. Because I was just like, if Steve's not in this episode and it's just Marcy, I'm going to be pissed.
Wow, I wish I could watch this with your guys' eyes. That must be amazing. Like, you're bummed out because you think Steve is gone from the episode, and it's all about him.
I know. Talk about a complete change. This episode is full of twists and turns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of The Sixth Sense, there is some M. Night Shyamalan like twist
Yeah.
for the show.
Look, I'm sorry, but you can't blame him. It's a magnificent piece of machinery.
So how's it drive?
How should I know? He won't let me near it.
Well, consider yourself lucky. The thing you can't touch is in the garage. Mine is in the bedroom.
Justin, if you had a really nice Mercedes, would you let your wife near it?
Did I buy it?
Yeah.
Then no. She doesn't go near it. She can buy her car.
So you're just like Steve with that?
Yeah, dude. I'm not a fan of like, if I buy something nice, like if I bought it for us, then yeah, of course. But if I buy it for me, then
Hold on, let's
Like,
reverse
does Tiffany ride your motorcycle?
No, but she drives my truck.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, let's look at it from, because at this point, this isn't like his show car or anything like that. Like, this is, they both have their own car, but at a certain point, sometimes you gotta drive the other person's car.
Yeah, it's not like Ferris Bueller's dad's car.
Her car was in the shop, so she literally had no vehicle to use. So I'm kind of like, did Steve leave knowing that her car was in the shop, or did it go in the shop? Like, what kind of a husband who loves his wife so much literally is going to leave her without a car?
You know what, though, dude? I would normally agree with you there, but we do know Steve in cars from Have You Driven a Ford Lately? And he gets googly-eyed and obsessed. He changes into a completely different person when it comes to cars.
Even when he was buying that car, remember?
Yep, valid point.
Okay, how about this? Let's talk about Steve's character arc. We're talking about a guy who literally, when his wife said, Stephen Rhodes, underneath all that, blah, blah, you're just a man. He goes, that is not true.
I still love that one. Funny still.
Oh yeah, it'll never die. And all the way he treats Marcy, the way he, come on, Al, I actually love my wife and things like that. And yet they're having this whole relationship that we know nothing about, where he's so, I don't know what to say, controlling. I'm not gonna make him look like an abusive guy or something, but he has some kind of thing, to the point where Marcy was so upset about this car thing that she says he's an idiot.
Sometimes I get so mad I could just kill that man. Peggy, when Al got his new car, did he let you drive it?
A few times. Once he had no brakes, and someone had to take it to the mechanic.
Listen, Peggy, can I borrow your car? I need to go to the supermarket.
My car doesn't go there. What's wrong with your car?
It's in the shop.
Just take his car. It's your car, too.
I don't know. I'd have to change the seat and the mirrors. It took him weeks to set them just right.
What do you care what he wants?
You're right. Of course. I'm taking his car for a drive. You know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to change all the preset stations on his radio. He's an idiot. It is my car, too. You know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to go in reverse, then shift into drive without coming to a complete stop. Oh, man.
Put it in reverse and without coming to a complete stop. And, she was really, there's some pent-up issues going on in this marriage. The whole thing, even Steve, I don't want to jump ahead, but, doing what he did to Marcy, following through with this idea, is, so unlike Steve.
It's a very different level to him that we haven't seen so much. We've seen little brief glimpses of it.
Right.
But for the most part, he's, more without a backbone and spineless and stuff when it comes to Marcy. So it is really, really interesting to see him, go the other way. And what you were saying about I almost wish that we could see and I don't know that, for all I know, this happens in a later episode or something, but the episode starts in the living room of the Rhodes or something, and see them wake up in the morning and stuff.
Yeah.
Breakfast. Just as a little comparison or a parallel, And also it seems like they are classic, and I don't know if this is true or not, but have you ever met a couple who are just so goody good and just all in love with each other so much in public, but then when you see them in private where nobody else is around, you just happen to be there, they're way more at each other's throats, and they put on a show all the time. You almost get the vibe that Steve and Marcy have a little bit of that going on. But we also learned from this episode that they have had, like Alex was saying, they must have had these arguments or conversations in which Steve is don't touch my car, stuff like that. So it's we never get to see that aspect of their relationship, at least thus far.
Right.
Because these conversations have to happen when they're alone.
They have to.
They don't really happen when, we're around or the Bundys.
Yeah, we can't observe it, right.
We have had the argument happen a few times in front of us where the question was brought up and one of them had a clear-cut answer, and the other one was like, whoa, no, we didn't discuss that.
Oh, yeah, the vasectomy.
Yeah, with the vasectomy. So I don't think we can clearly say either way on this, because we also don't know, did Steve tell her not to drive the car because, like he says later on, it's his car, it's all his, and it's just him being selfish and lovey-dovey over his car.
And he said it don't feel like it's mine anymore since she touched it.
Yeah, or at some point, does Marcy then look at this and be like, oh, is it because I'm a woman and I can't drive? Would Steve think like that?
Well, that's how Al thinks.
Exactly. But in this episode, literally the only scene you're missing is a certain conversation between Al and Steve.
Right.
Otherwise, this episode would have been just like multiple other Married with Children episodes where we see that happen.
Yeah.
We get the Marcy and Peggy side where Marcy shows up with a problem, gets an answer from Peggy, does that answer, it backfires. We usually have the same thing happening parallel with Steve and Al at the exact same time.
And I don't mean necessarily that they're at each other's throats like that example that I used about a couple that you would know. I'm just saying that maybe that there is a little bit more of,
more than meets the eye, that's all.
In private than in public.
That does make sense, because if you think back to the episode Married Without Children, where the kids have the party, Marcy and Steve want to particularly make it to where they let them have a party, and it got so bad that they would never let them babysit again because it saves space for them and they get out of it. They let the party happen like they shouldn't have, but they can just chalk it up to, we didn't know. Even though you told us, who the hell listens to you?
Right.
And they have the party, but it's more along the lines so they never have to do it again. But we see this all the time, especially with Marcy and Steve, where they love to act like they know more about everything than Al and Peg. And we see this happen a lot where it backfires, whether it's a driveway or someone stealing money from a bank. We have this happen all the time, and that 100%.
It is nice that it happens sometimes where is cluster fucky as the Bundys are, like they kind of have a little bit of street smarts sometimes that the roads kind of overlook sometimes. And
that's the whole dynamic. That's the whole relationship dynamic between the newlyweds and the people who've been married for 16 years. The Bundys, this isn't their first rodeo. And the Rhodes, it is their first rodeo, basically. So it's and you get to see the juxtaposition there, and that's the beauty of just like with our show, like me compared to you guys. It's perfect, having the middleman and Jerry and you completely new. There's a juxtaposition that it's a balance, and that's what makes this. I mean, the actual real Married with Children show work. And it's just like interesting, like the character arc of Steve, because, you have, obviously, like Jerry said, Al and Peg whispering into his ear, and Peg whispering into Marcy's ear in the whole episode, whose room is it anyway? But Steve doesn't go through, he doesn't like put his foot down about anything like, I want my pool room. Instead, he comes back and says, we want a sitting room that we could just escape the pressures of the living room.
Which is still the worst idea for a room ever. You already have a room to sit in. It's called the living room.
Right.
By the way,
do you know anybody that had a sitting room? I actually know people who I knew someone who had a sitting room.
Yeah, it's called my grandparents.
Right, and no one sits in it.
Yeah, it was called my friend's grandparents.
Also, did y'all know I don't know if y'all care. Did y'all know why the living room is called the living room?
Because you live most of your life in there?
That's what I thought. My grandfather recently told me the reason people have a living room and then like a den or a sitting room is because one of those rooms would be where you would have the body as it waits to go to the funeral. So after it was done, you would have the body displayed in that room. And so when they stopped doing that, they started calling it the living room.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there because I thought it was super strange. And I was like, so instead of having your wake at the funeral parlor, instead you have the wake at your house? No, I'm not trying to have a dead body in my house anymore. Huh? Well, I meant it all, JP, obviously.
Well, normally they're in his trunk. That's his new thing.
My car doesn't have a trunk.
Oh, that's right. You have what do you have, a little basket in the back of your bike or something?
Yeah. I have a basket on my bike. I can only fit. I have to do like a foot or a hand at a time.
He doesn't have a car. We forgot. I guess that's why I didn't ask Jerry a few episodes ago if he ever siphoned gas from anyone's car.
Yeah.
Like he's like, well, where would I put it? So,
can we talk about the thing that Al does to show his children that he loves them? He doesn't need to say to his children, "I love you." He shows it. And he does something that I never saw coming. Never thought this would happen, ever.
Mom, Bud found a cornflake between the refrigerator and the sink, and he won't share.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Come on, kids. This may be against everything I believe in, but I'm taking you out to breakfast.
All right.
Now, kids, when we get to the restaurant, something strange will happen. A woman will bring you food. Now, don't be scared. She's called a waitress. It's just God's alternative to mommies.
Boy, squabbling over a meal. Thank God Steve's a liberated man and cooks for me.
it's amazing if you're thinking like, well, Al, why don't you just either do this all the time, or why don't you go food shopping? Like, it's the strangest thing. Like, we already talked about, like, why would Al have any money that's accessible to Peg lying around? Like, wouldn't he hide his money in a shoebox? I said, a few episodes ago. Like, and the same thing. If she's not gonna do anything with your money but feed herself and buy coats and jackets, then what? Why does she have any access? But we went through that already. And
also, the next best line in this episode: waitresses are God's alternative to mommies.
Mommies, yep.
I like the line where he says, of course they're good. Pancakes are better when they're cooked. Or something like that.
He goes, it was cooked. Oh, my God.
Or then when they're talking about Steve, thank God Steve is a liberated man who cooks for me. Like, just the back and forth with the food in this episode is funny. Like, blowing smoke in his eggs, and then you later see her cooking eggs where she clearly, like, blows the smoke straight down.
What does he want me to expect? Me to quit smoking?
And, like, well, how do they have eggs to cook? How come the kids weren't eating that yesterday? I mean, they're eating a cornflake between the... And it's like so I think Peg said, why doesn't Al cook? And it's like, well, there's no food to cook. Even if he was willing... What's there to cook? Was he going to fry a cornflake? So Marcy is, like I said earlier, verbally bashing the crap out of Steve about this car thing. It's obviously something that is bothering her. Who convinces her? I think Peg convinces her to go ahead and drive Steve's car, so she does. Marcy comes back, and she drove Steve's car like he said not to do. And Al's just wondering, what'd you hit?
Hi, Mars. How'd the Mercedes drive?
You drove Steve's Mercedes? What'd you hit?
You know, Al, this may surprise you, but women today are race car drivers, pilots, astronauts, anything we want to be. We're just as good as men.
What'd you hit?
A fire hydrant. What am I gonna do?
Gee, I don't know. You never should have driven his car.
Like, how did Al know that? Like, when you guys, when she took the car, it was made clear she was going to drive it. Did you guys, were you even thinking there has to be some kind of payoff here? Like, she has to hit something, or...
Yeah.
I
was actually thinking she was going to wreck it.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I 100% something's going to happen to this car. Most likely her wrecking it.
Steve is gonna kill me. I've tried every body shop in town and they can't fix it till next week. Oh, why bother? I'll just tell Steve the truth. He'll be so happy I wasn't hurt. He'll throw his arms around me and forgive me. Yeah, I'm going home right now so I can be there first thing to tell Steve when he walks in the door.
Well, when Peg is looking out the window to tell Marcy, Steve is home and blah, blah, and now he's going in the garage. No, wait, he's going here, blah, blah. Again, we're back at the dilemma where it looks like Peg is looking across the street again. I don't know why they don't have them go to the side sliding door that's behind the Bundy couch and just have her look at an angle towards the front of the house. Like, that would imply more that their house is next door. But when they keep going to that front window, man, I'm like, how are they seeing Steve? Because you gotta remember, there's that whole wall there.
The layout of this place. Can somebody please draw us a map?
Yeah, somebody draw a map and post it on our Facebook. We know that the apple tree episode, it's clear they're next to each other, but what is going on with the rest of this stuff? So, would you guys, if you were married, would you...
With children or without?
With, you have to, this only implies with children. And you forgot it was Christmas, would you just, like, hide in your bedroom for the weekend while you're kids?
Oh, yeah, and as soon as they came and started talking to me about it, I'd be like, do you want to know what happened to me when I was in the 7th grade?
That's him.
Hide me, I'll pay you.
He's getting out. He's paying. Now he's going into the house. No, it's the garage.
The car's in there. But he'll never see the den, it's too dark.
Marcy! She's in here, Steve!
Marcy!
Oh, Steve, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You moved my seat.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, Steve, I missed you so much. Let's never go home.
No, Marcy, let's not gloss over this. You've done a terrible thing. It took me weeks to get that seat the way I like it. It took me almost as long as it took to properly adjust the mirrors and set my radio stations.
How long will it take you to adjust the fire hydrant-shaped hole she put in the passenger side? Oops, I spoiled Marcy's surprise.
Al, did you have to tell him?
You betcha.
Oh, it'll be okay. It's just a dent. Oh, what am I worried about?
My Mercedes, my babe.
Oh, he'll be fine. See, whenever Steve goes away overnight, he comes home consumed with passion. So all I have to do is pretend that I am too. He'll forget about that car and we won't make it out of the bedroom until Monday.
Gee, you know, the only time Al and I ever spent a weekend in the bedroom is when we were hiding from the kids because we forgot it was Christmas.
For anybody with an eagle eye here, Bud's brand new skateboard can be seen on the landing of the stairs. The skateboard he got during Master the Possibilities in the beginning when they hid their gifts behind the couch, expecting Al not to see it when he walked in the house. So that skateboard is still looming.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Turns out Marcy comes back the next morning and unloads, no pun intended, on Peg and Al that Steve is impotent. And for those of you who don't have even the slightest vocabulary, that means his penis no longer gets an erection. What that means is his head is so messed up from this car accident, and his car is messed up. It's the greatest thing in his life. He loves his car, and Marcy touched it and ruined everything, and Steve is just not interested sexually anymore.
Well, Steve forgave me. He's the most wonderful man in the world.
Why can't you be more like Steve?
And Steve's impotent.
My God. Al, you are like Steve. Oh, Marcy, it's only one night. Give it a reasonable period of time. You know, Back in 74, I thought Al had that problem. But by 79, it cleared up fine.
But Steve is Mr. Ever-Ready. And we tried 6 times last night.
So 6 times she attempted to get him aroused, and it's like shooting pool with a rope. I mean, it's just not happening.
Shooting pool with a rope.
I think Indiana Jones could shoot pool with a rope.
6 times in one night? Did you hear that, Al?
Hey, give me some credit. I could fail 6 times, too.
But Steve never failed before.
Let's get to the bottom of this. The first time you tried, was the light on?
Yes.
There you go. He saw you.
If that's Steve, please don't tell him you know about his problem.
Hey, buddy, what's up? Whoops.
I hope we didn't keep you up last night.
Oh, dear. What's that in your pocket?
My car keys. What's the matter? I should probably overcome by the 6 times we did it last night.
Yeah, Steve, you're a real stallion. Listen, let's say we go down to the ice cream shop and get a softie.
I can't believe you told him.
Okay, we all know like the ending here, but still, let's take that out of the account. If this happened to you, and your wife told the neighbors, and you walked in, and the guy, the husband of the neighbor husband, said, "Hey guy, do you want to go to the ice cream shop and get a softie?"
That's a pretty big betrayal, right?
Yeah,
I think so. I mean, that's a pretty embarrassing. It makes like anything that's gonna make you feel less of a man in front of other men, I think is like a little bit dirty of a move.
Yeah. Plus, how do you not know? Okay, guy talk is guy talk, but to bring it up in general, first of all, you should not be talking about the bedroom problems openly in front of everybody. With your girls, I can understand.
right.
Yeah, because girls, they're gonna have their girl talk in the presence of Al. Like that's just a low blow, man. What about you? Like you would feel that too, Alex?
Oh God, yeah. Don't you remember how I reacted with Peg kind of taking all the masculinity and dignity away from Al with the freaking the bug guy, the termite guy? You remember? So, like, how do you think I'd feel with this? I'd be like, Jesus Christ! This just happened hours ago. Is anything sacred or private or like you have to discuss this? And it's weird because Steve comes in and he goes, "Hey guys, I hope I didn't keep you up with our 6 times last night." Like, and he's like, "Yeah, you're a real stallion, Steve." But it's like, why would you even say that? Like, why would you? If you failed 6 times, why would you walk around acting like you actually accomplished it 6 times in front of Marcy?
Because 1, you're overcompensating, and 2, it's known that every time he comes back, they go at it like crazy. This episode's not the first time they've mentioned that. So it's almost like he's trying to keep up appearances. You know, when someone's trying to hide something and they need to keep up appearances, they overextend. They always overextend. That's what's happening right here.
I'm sorry. It's just that you were once a mighty oak, and now...
A hanging vine.
Excuse me. I don't want to talk about this anymore. This is a temporary thing due to overwork, stress, or overuse. I'm not worried at all. But I'm going to go out, pump some iron, toss football, let the girls see what they can't have. I mean, because I'm married. Not because I can't. Because I can.
He can't, you know.
Yeah. So Marcy is, she's at a loss. And she needs some advice. So who do you go to? The god of advice, Al Bundy himself. And wow, this is like the most chauvinistic. I mean, this is the funniest thing in the world. And I love Al's delivery. He's like, world-renowned something, Hugh Hefner, found, did great strides in this field. We believe you can change.
Yeah, when he calls him a scientist.
Yeah, like
that was great.
The whole thing, like, you guys said that you were cringing during the when Tiffany came over the house, the hot homeless girl, with the way Al was behaving. But man, I gotta say, I was like a little like, oh, like God, when Al's talking to Marcy here, and the fact that she sat there and listened to this is just astounding. She must have been really desperate.
What can I do for you?
I need to know how to turn a man on.
Well, I'm not a plastic surgeon, but I'll do what I can. See, Marcy, you touched Steve's car. Now, what did Steve ask you not to do?
Touch his car.
What did you do?
Touched his car.
I can't hear you.
I touched his car, so what?
What? So you disobeyed a man, which means you weren't doing your job as a woman. See, the thing is, women don't understand that men don't really need them. See, if you want to talk to someone, you talk to the guys. If you want to have some fun, you go with the guys. You want sex, you reminisce with the guys. Now let's get back to women. What are they for? The two C's. Cooking, kitchen.
Al, I'm amazed your knuckles don't bleed when you walk.
Good day, Marcy.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Very well. So we've established that we don't need you. Now, let's ask ourselves, what the heck do we keep you around for? It's because we're optimists. We believe that you can change. The world-renowned social scientist, Mr. Hugh Hefner, has made great strides in that area.
Get to it, Java man.
Very well. Marcy, your problem is you're not servile enough. So, young lady, if you want to save your marriage, you're going to have to learn to compromise a little bit. Put down that briefcase. Pick up a dish rag and be a woman.
Al, I can only say this. There may be something alive with fewer brain cells than you. But whatever it is, wherever it is, I'm sure its name is Bundy. You should be on all fours, pulling a wagon full of borax across the desert. Your compost, your phlegm, you are a true pork product.
See, this didn't make me cringe at all because it's the common chauvinistic Al versus the feminist Marcy. That's their thing. That, like, I didn't even, like, even with Marcy, like, acting like a puppy dog who's in trouble with her head down the entire time and talking kind of low, like, it wasn't cringy to me. JP, what about you? Was it cringy?
No, not at all.
That's strange.
He was at another level here. He never got this bad.
No, he's never gotten this bad directly towards Marcy, but he's said things much like this to Steve with no issue.
Right. I guess just doing it to her face was a little much. I mean, again, I don't care. But it's a joke, but it's just like, I guess I'm like getting, believe me, you don't have to get me into this show and or anything like that. But doing this show has gotten me more into it, and I feel like I'm living it now a little differently. I'm like getting really in the headspace, so I'm kind of like in the moment a little bit better now.
Do you ever? Sorry to cut you off, but
no.
Whenever I'm get really into a show and I'm like watching it all the time, which with this show we watch it multiple times a week. Do you ever like start squeezing in like the way like jokes happen, or maybe even certain jokes, or just the way like you present yourself or something into real life from the show? Like,
Oh, yeah.
like I can't think of any examples right now, but like I swear I'm like adding more Al into my life, and sometimes even like Steve and just like randomness, and it's just like
No, I don't think
You
I
don't
do
do that
anything
stuff?
that.
I do
no,
that
I don't think I
anytime I
do
can't
anything
really
like
do
Steve.
So stupid. Yeah, he's wearing blue sweaters already.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like I almost like am living my life like it's a sitcom every once in a while.
Oh, it's so funny you say that. You know what my sister used to tell me my whole life? She said, Alex, when you walk in a room, do you hear an audience start clapping? I was like, what? She goes, for some reason, your life is like, you're like a living TV sitcom, and clearly, if it's anything, it's Married with Children. So, do you hear like, yeah, Al? I'm like, no, not yet. But so Al shows a little bit of stupidity here. He's kind of channeling a little bit of Kelly with the two C's, cooking and kitchen.
Yeah,
Like-
that was a great joke though, because you thought he was going to say cooking and cleaning.
Yeah,
And he didn't. That was hilarious.
yeah.
Also, even though his whole speech is chauvinistic, there is actually a line in there that's very, very important when it comes to relationships. And that's learn to compromise.
Right.
That actually is a very valid point. He didn't have to say all of that stuff like, you're disobeying a man, so you're not doing your job as a woman.
Oh my God.
He could have just went straight to you need to compromise. You need to understand more from his side and look at it from where he's coming from. But instead he says that.
It's funny though. You gotta remember, Al at this point, okay, his plan is in effect. I mean, I don't know if you guys are listening to this show for pure entertainment value on its own, or you know this episode. So I'm really trying to dance around the end here, because, like we said, we've found out that not everybody watches the show before they hear us. So I guess I will try to present this as it is on the show. So I'm not going to say the ending, but with us knowing the ending, Steve put part of something in motion, and now it's like an alley-oop. Al is sort of slam dunking it, and in that sense, what I'm trying to say is Al really has to sell this to Marcy, because that's the only way this all works.
Yeah.
Would you start off by saying the most repulsive, insulting things you could ever say to a feminist?
Do you think Al's overextending to make sure it works? Do you think he's going a little overboard because he's he's like, I don't want her to catch on, so I have to make sure I really
Like if he just sits down and talks to Marcy and it's like a heart to heart and he's all like serious and doesn't say anything offensive,
Right.
It might tip her off that like, wait a minute, is this Al I'm talking to?
Wow, he is so smart, and so are you guys for realizing that.
Or it could just be that he can't turn it off because he is who he is and it's just ingrained in him.
Yeah.
I'll go with either answer.
But I do love the fact that he ends it with, will you take my advice?
You gonna take my advice?
Yes. Thank you, Al, for your time and help. Pig.
Almost like trying to get that reassurance that hey, this is working.
Like, Steve, it's working, man. You just got to put together your, next part of this plan. And
yeah.
Well, Marcy takes his advice. We see her serving Steve on hand and foot with a pinch of salt, one bite of potato, rubbed feet.
He put the salt on one piece of mashed potatoes.
Toothbrush to the grout in the bathroom, organizing razor blades, temperature lowered 1 degree.
Do you guys organize your razor blades?
No, my razor blades are like in a rusty pile somewhere.
I don't even have razor blades. I have an electric shaver. Oh, ha ha. Yeah, you're funny.
We know, Jared.
That's actually in my disc rap that I'm going to write for you.
The potatoes can use more salt. He makes her go downstairs because on one of her 6 trips, she didn't bring it up, which is honestly her fault. I mean, honestly, it really is. You're serving potatoes, and you made 6 trips up and down the stairs, and not one of them involves salt or pepper. That is bizarre. So she's wrong. She should go back downstairs. I agree. So she goes. He takes it, puts it in his hand, then just pinches it, twists it over one piece of the potato, eats it, puts it all down. I'm done. So you did all that just so I could take a bite. Then he does the 1 degree bit. Nice twist, Steve.
Wait, what was the 1 degree bit?
It's a little chilly in here. Can you turn up the heat up by just 1 degree?
Oh, I said turn it down before. Yeah, I was turning it up. Yeah. Now, guys, this joke has been in my life for 20 years. I'm fascinated by Steve's food order here. And, you know, as technology improved, I looked it up and stuff. So,
What would you like for dinner tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know. Something simple. How about beef Wellington and baked Alaska?
On a work night? I mean, I guess I could get up early and go to the market before work and then come home at lunch and grind the goose liver, separate the eggs, and make the pastry dough. I should be able to have it on the table by 8.
No, I don't like to eat that late.
Then I just won't sleep.
You sure it's no trouble?
No.
I told my wife that before I die, I really would like you to go ahead and make that. So just don't get any sleep. And make sure you get the French vanilla ice cream, by the way. Baked Alaska is a dessert food consisting of ice cream and cake topped with browned meringue. How do you say that? Meringue.
Meringue?
Oh, meringue. Please cut that out.
Did he just really say, please cut that out to himself?
To my future self.
Yeah. No, do not cut that out.
Guys, I'm going to sound like an idiot. Okay, wait a minute.
It's so good.
Okay, let's see what beef Wellington is. Beef Wellington.
When you got problems with a British dude.
She doesn't say anything anymore. What am I paying a month for this?
What are you doing,
Your phone doesn't even want to talk to you, Alex.
Beef Wellington is a preparation of filet steak coated with pate and Duck's Ellis.
How are you the host of a podcast? You can barely talk.
Okay, you say Duxelles.
Oh, no, I'm not Matt Wizell. I ain't saying shit.
Exactly, so don't make fun of me. Which is then wrapped in puff pastry and baked. But dude, this looks complicated.
That's really complicated sounding. Like I was gonna say, like, oh, we should try these things for the show too, but like, nah. Well, but maybe we could turn it into whatever horrendous thing we could all make a video.
Oh my god. We all make a video like vlogging us trying to cook this and eat it.
We should. That would be great.
Oh, that would be great. That would be funny.
Great idea. We got to write all this stuff down.
Yeah, because we do that all the time, where we come up with ideas and then they're lost in
the infinity of the airwaves.
Yeah.
So I just mentioned everything that Marcy has been doing to serve Steve.
I love to cook.
Oh, Marcy.
And I love to clean.
Oh, Marcy.
And I'll never touch your car again.
Oh, Marcy.
Oh, Steve. Oh, Steve!
And he did reward her with an erect genitalia.
That is true. By the way, I find it funny. Like at the erect part, I have erection. Al's plan worked, which is funny because here in a moment we're gonna get into.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Sunny skies and 0 chance of rain through Sunday.
Good news. There's no snow on our forecast today. Mercedes-Benz introduces Formatic. Outwitting the weather and the road with the most advanced all-wheel drive system ever put in a car. Formatic. It may just obsolete other all-wheel drive systems. Not to mention weather forecasts.
And tonight, she's making me beef Wellington and baked Alaska.
Boy, I wish I had a wife.
Al, I don't know how I can ever thank you. This impotence scheme of yours has given me a wife I never even dreamed existed. I gotta tell you, though, it was rough faking failure. But thanks for the advice. Trying to figure out why Bruce Willis is a star really helped.
I got plenty of 'em. Did you do the salt bit?
Yep.
The thermostat?
1 degree.
Nice twist.
Like, I did not see the twist coming at all. They 100% got me. So
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm with you too. I didn't write anything down, but I thought that, like, oh yeah, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought the episode was gonna go in like where the typical episodes, and that's once we get into the ending and we get into our ratings, that's one of the things that I was really happy about, is that it did something that I wasn't expecting.
Oh, yeah.
Steve, I'm having some problems with the baked Alaska. I got plain vanilla ice cream instead of French vanilla.
That's okay.
Never mind, I'll get it. It's just that my car is still in the shop. Can I use your... Never mind. I'll walk. A brisk 4-mile jaunt should do me good.
Oh, did I mention I wanted whipped cream? Oh, well, I'll send her back out.
And Alex, when your wife won't let you use the car, will you go on a brisk 4-mile jog just to get French vanilla ice cream?
4 miles. Wait, did I tell her I also want, what's the thing he said?
Cool Whip.
Yeah, Cool Whip.
I'll send her back.
Yeah, I'll send her back out. But it's actually made with Cool Whip, so she had to do that.
Yeah.
She actually is not making baked Alaska without the Cool Whip. So, once again, wow, I'm siding like a bad guy in this episode. Once again, it's her fault, because you should have brought the salt, and now you should have brought the whipped cream anyway.
Well, here's the thing with the whipped cream. Is this also another instance like the bowling thing where they just got their information wrong and they didn't think about it when they made the joke?
Most likely. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, how would you not know? That's a main ingredient.
Well, how would you not know that 175 is not that
How
good
would
at
you
bowling?
even know back then? Like, you
How
can't
would
even
you
pull out your
even
phone and
know?
ask Siri.
Married with children.
Like, you have to go get a cookbook to like be like, oh, like make sure we have all our, like, you just generally know what it is.
I feel like Steve has cookbooks. I don't think Marcy would have had cookbooks. I feel like Steve has cookbooks though.
We had cookbooks in our house growing up in the 80s. We had this one. My mom never opened it. She just made the same 5 things every week. But I mean, like, it was there, I guess. But...
I just want to know, can you name some of the 5 things?
Yeah. Well, stuffed cabbage, meatloaf,
Gross.
pork chops, spaghetti and meatballs,
Ugh, gross.
Jam.
raviolis.
Nope.
Maybe depends on. I like Alfredo based.
Ma, can Justin come over to eat? No, I'm good, Alex.
And the one, and it's funny, like, I guess when you're a kid, you don't really know to pick anything out with subs. So, or sandwiches in general. Like, my mom decided to go, get the cold cuts, and whenever we had this sub shop, she always ordered it for me. And the thing she always, for some reason, gave me, which makes me puke when I think about it now, is a sub with mustard, salami, bologna, and cheese. And that's all I'd eat for 15 years.
You like that?
No, dude, that's all I knew. I didn't realize you can get good stuff because she just kept on giving me that.
What do you get at? Okay, let's say you're going to a sub shop. What do you get now?
Oh, now it's mostly Italians or
You get Dave Z's?
I know, I did say that weird.
You get a Will Smith, a chicken to run.
Wait, how come we're not bringing up if any of us fake not having an erection?
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I wasn't going to bring it up because I don't know, like, at a certain point, I mean, I can, like, it's like playing the game when you're running your ABCs or something to make sure you don't finish and you keep going, but to, like, legit, like, concentrate hard enough that I can keep my body from having a natural reaction. Because you got to keep in mind that, like,
think about when you was in school, right? Like, there was no not having one. It just would happen.
You got to put that shit under your belt.
Yeah, I didn't. We were talking about that, and I didn't learn the belt trick until I was like in like 8th grade, which it's like, I never considered the waistband or belt trick, man.
That is 6th grade knowledge. How do you not know that 6th grade?
I used books and shit, dude. It was horrendous. I hated it. Oh my
god!
I used to just tape it to my right above my knee. Yeah, right.
But no, like seriously, like, cause like you can like you're getting raped. You can have an erection, or you can have an orgasm. Like, it's a natural reaction. Your body can't help it.
Raped?
No. Yes, no, like, because I'm using an extreme example.
Oh, like if a teacher rapes me?
Well, no, but like legit, like a woman could get raped and still have an orgasm, or a guy could be getting raped by another male and get an erection. It's a natural reaction.
I don't think I could, homie.
But your G spot.
Like, I get the woman example because it's just, you know.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Okay. Even take like, Peggy's mom is raping you. And there is a chance your body is going to have a natural, like, if she's...
I can't get raped by women. Guys can't get raped by women. What are you talking about? No, they can't.
You're telling me if you saw the woman that was in the picture that Al showed Steve...
With her arms flapping in the wind.
She can lift kegs, and she knocks you down and sits on top of you. You ain't getting up. And she starts...
Well, good luck trying to get my dick to work.
She's going to, because you agreed with me that you can just get an erection and it's hard to stop. If she starts,
when I'm not fearing for my life. I've never had a boner when I was in a car crash.
Well, I'm sorry, Paul Walker, but some people do. Look, the point is,
this guy's like, oh man, I'm jumping out of this helicopter. Sure gives me an erection right now.
There actually are probably people who do that.
Yeah,
listen, we're not Steve in a bank here.
But yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, your body can get an erection without you wanting to have it. So the idea that Steve was able to not have one was ridiculous to me, and I don't even see how it's possible.
Yeah, that I don't get. I mean,
the example of like rape cases where they are documented, fully documented, men getting raped by women.
Who are these guys?
There's gay guys who have been raped by women who could, like, there's many stories where, like, the private dancer was a gay guy and the party got too far. And, like, do you not watch Law & Order SVU? This was literally a case once.
Oh, my God. Okay. Anyway, guys, so it turns out that Al and Steve had an insane great plot that Steve is going to fake impotency in order to get the wife he always wanted.
That's pretty crazy for Steve, man. I'm still kind of blown away that he went through with this.
Who had the idea, though? Because they don't clearly say which one had the idea, because Steve kind of points that it's more Al's idea.
Which I accept, and I fully assume that it is, because Al comes up with his schemes and stuff, like, yeah.
Right.
But the fact that, you know, Steve went through with it, and not only went through with it, but, like, even insinuated that he was going to go further with it, maybe even by months.
How long do you think I can play this thing out?
Until you get the car fixed. When are you going to take it in?
A couple of weeks. Hell, maybe not for a couple of months. After all, the dent's not even on the driver's side.
It's pretty crazy to me, you know, that it would end that way, really. But he must have really, really, really loved that car, which makes sense because have you driven a Ford lately? We've seen how he reacts.
Here's a crazy theory, though. Real quick, crazy theory. Do you think at a younger time in their marriage, he used this trick on Peggy, much like the messed up leg thing? And it ended up...
he's still using it today?
Well, no. He used it so much. He used it for too long that now he actually does have a problem.
Do you think Al actually has a problem, or it's just Peg that annoys him, so he has a problem?
I don't know. I'm just throwing the theory out there that maybe he did this at a younger age, and that's why he knows about it, and maybe it went too far and backfired it, and that's why Peggy cannot use sex against him.
Like, if our homeless hitchhiker chick was the chick, like, he wouldn't have a problem, right?
No. She made it so he can go upstairs and have sex with Peg. That girl is Viagra.
Like, he literally kept himself from getting an erection with Peggy so much now that he has a problem getting an erection with Peggy, which is why in this show you see him have the most sex with Peggy when there are blonde chicks around, whether it's with Luke or whether it's with the homeless chick.
Oh, we've had a lot of blondes we've talked about lately with Al. It's making us repetitive.
Well, I'm just saying, but wouldn't that make sense that he did it so? Because we're over here trying to figure out how one does that, and maybe he accidentally.
Yeah, well, we know how you do it. You have to think about why Bruce Willis is considered an A-list star.
That's all you have to do.
Like, did that? Unfortunately, did he go too far, and now he can't stop thinking about Peg's mom when
oh my God.
he looks at Peggy? Like, it backfired on him?
I hope not.
This is what. Hold on, Alex. You said you've done this before.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Well, I was real mad, and then she wanted to do something, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything. And then she tries to slap it around or whatever, and I'm like, and I just got a real focus. I think about football, or I think about maybe the shows I'm doing. I just think of anything else.
You think about us.
Yeah, I think about you guys, and it just does not go up.
He was thinking about Dan Chase.
So stupid.
Okay, so you say that this is a plausible thing because you did.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Well, wait, hold on. Was the girl Spanish?
Yeah, but
okay, just checking because if she wasn't Spanish, I would be like, nah, I'm calling bull on this.
But I'm used to that though, so you would think that any of them could make it go up, but no. Like at this point, I've been doing this for like 15 years with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like normal to me. It's like just being with a girl.
I'm actually so surprised you don't have kids named Kelly and Bud at this point because you literally are Al in real life with that comment you just made. Like, just have kids, get a dog, and name them Kelly and Bud, and let's get this over with.
You want to hear it's real sad? I told Tiffany I would really like to buy the Buck dog. I think it's called a Saint Bernard or something.
No way Buck's a Saint Bernard.
No. wait, no, I'm sorry. It's called no, I knew what it was called one time. I forgot. But that's the first name that I could think of for some reason.
It's like a sheepdog looking thing or something.
I used to know. I'm not going to look it up though. But when we focus on Buck again, I'll look it up.
No Ma'am will be right back to wrap up this week's review. Be sure to join their Facebook group page for all the podcast news and updates. Just type in www.facebook.com/groups/marriedwithchildrenpodcast. Be sure to subscribe to them on iTunes and please leave a review telling them what you think of the show. To subscribe to their YouTube channel, just go to channels and search up Married with Children Podcast. You can email them at marriedwchildrenpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for checking out this review. Now the guys are going to give their final thoughts and ratings of this week's episode.
All right, guys, we are at the end of the show. It is time to give our ratings for Impo-Dent. How many times out of 5 are you going to fail tonight for this episode, Justin?
This episode's very solid. It's really funny. It starts out funny with the, Tang stuff and the cornflake stuff and the Peg taking the money and all full stuff, and then it escalates into a really, like, as Jerry put it, like M. Night Shyamalan type episode. I didn't really see any of that stuff coming. So anytime that sitcoms break tradition, because traditionally sitcoms follow a formula, either that was set up by them or another sitcom. So I like when shows kind of throw me a curveball. So I'm going to come in at 4 times failing out of 5.
Wow. Nice. Good reasons, too. So, Jerry, how many times are you going to fail tonight out of 5 for Impo-Dent?
You know what's funny? Okay, JP, you just brought up how they broke, like, their tradition. When you really think about it, though, this twist ending is 100% Married with Children. It literally is almost like if they had just taken one scene out of the planning and we just didn't get that scene, and then and the girls didn't know, and it would have been a normal Married with Children like their twist ending. We should have seen coming.
I guess, but I don't know.
But I'm just saying, like, doesn't it, like, you 100% could see Steve and Al doing this if they would have just had that one conversation earlier in the episode.
We could probably write the conversation and act it out right now, but
I feel like in the end it would have like been like Steve going easy on her, like letting her go from the slavery or something.
Okay. That is true. I will give you that. But I'm just saying their twist ending.
It's only a twist because we didn't know. That's it. It's actually right in line with what we've been watching.
How impressive!
I could totally see them having that conversation for sure.
Right.
But I'm saying that makes the twist ending more impressive to me because when a twist happens and you can go back and go, oh, look at this, look at them saying this, look at them saying that. It was in front of my face the entire time, and I never caught it.
Yeah, like even Al asking that question to Marcy to kind of get that reassurance.
Yes, exactly. That, like, it was in our face the entire time, and I never caught on to it. Not once. And I don't feel like it broke character for Steve because I still feel like this is Steve. Because you go back to the ring episode and the ring down Zorro's pants, right, and you go, he lets her off. That makes you go, oh, Steve's always going to let her off.
Not when it comes to the Mercedes.
Not necessarily, because Al has been getting in Steve's ear more and more and more. And we're seeing what might lead to why Marcy and Steve end up divorcing. I'm just, like, I'm saying, because I don't actually remember why they divorce. And don't say it because I actually want it to be a surprise. But if I'm looking at it and, like, going, this could be a key thing where you go, she eventually divorces him because of him becoming more like Al. So with that said, I think twisting is perfect. You get to see Steve pull an Al, which is fantastic. You get to see Al take the kids out to eat, and you get to see Marcy come to Al for help. This has everything I would want in a Married with Children episode, and I actually give it a 5 out of 5. I would fail 5 times. I would fail 6 times if I could.
Just like Steve.
I think this was one of the best written episodes that we have ever seen.
Yep. It's funny. Even as a kid, I sort of recognized that. And to just reiterate or to back up what you said, yeah, Al has been getting in Steve's ear more and more lately. Look at Earth Angel. He's, Steve actually considered paying $5 to work in his yard. He got in his ear with Guys and Dolls to get him to even sell Marcy stuff for these baseball cards, as Steve did 20 years ago or whatever. Build a better mousetrap. He got him to dress up in this crazy outfit, and he's just going along with so many crazy ideas of Al that it's just becoming a normal part of his life now. It's not like some big turn of events anymore. And so I guess I could see, the two of them sitting down, and then Al says, hey, we definitely can make a positive out of this, Steve. And well, what are you talking about? Well, maybe Marcy has to, earn her way back, and blah, blah. So I think the thing that makes this whole twist work, you could say, oh, it's a common episode, we've seen this, we're just missing a scene, but I think the thing that sells it is what we're seeing. It's an insane comedic value that Steve cannot perform. And, hey, what's up, buddy? Whoops. And, let's go to the ice cream shop for a softie. All that stuff, I can't believe you told him. And all that, it just really plays as if there's no way there's anything going on here. There's no way that they could have a conversation and Steve somehow cannot perform in bed. How, like you guys said, can you actually do this? It's so far-fetched that once you get that reveal, it is oh my God, amazing, thank you, good night. And yeah, this has been a favorite of mine since I was 15 years old, and I hardly knew what they were talking about in the beginning. But, I guess I don't even know what I thought back then. 15, I guess that's a little old. But even 12, I don't know, maybe. Kids grow up too fast. What do I know? Maybe I always knew what this meant. But anyway, I thought it was great all the way from back then. So I'm with Jerry. It's a 5 out of 5. This is like Married with Children perfection. Great episode. I've seen it over 20 times.
JP, do you want to raise yours to a 4.5?
I do not. I'm pretty confident on my rating, but you guys, I see where you guys are coming from.
He's still warming up to the show.
Yeah. Give me time.
He's not there yet. He's zoning in.
Hey guys, by the way, y'all want to celebrate our success and come over to my house tomorrow night? Well, I can show y'all how to make beef Wellington and baked Alaska. I already got all the stuff, and I don't need to sleep tonight.
That sounds, Justin, what do you think?
I'd rather be a man and go to Kippy's.
Good call.
Dun, 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 dun.